Hello, fellow hobby enjoyers. Excuse me. Good evening, and welcome back to another Hobby Hang stream. Apologies for the later than usual start, but I was heads down in the editing mines, prepping a video. Omegon's twin says hello and not late for once. Hey. I am very happy to hear that. One step at a time. Omegon's twin, one step at a time. Today we'll be continuing the Quiet with Big Shooter model. And taking a look at some point, taking a look at that Necrons detachment. Might start in on the metal colors today, but for sure we'll be doing some gray sneaking suit colors. Alright, I'll pause the YouTube Studio preview and switch fully to OBS. Perfect. Alrighty, let's get right into it. Seems that wet palette's a bit thirsty. Jerry Sanchez, welcome to the stream. How are you doing on this Friday evening? Hope everybody's got some interesting stuff on their hobby desk. Jerry Sanchez says, hey, I'm back. Where did I leave off? Right, we're painting this leg. Oh, you know what else, guys? I did a little test. Before the stream on this, a spare orc arm I had. And I just used some Cygor Brown contrast, diluted with some contrast medium over top of the same general base color of the skin here. I'm trying to see if this method is suitable for a for the pantyhose type item, I don't know what to call it. The hosiery, the leggings that Quiet would wear. So, I don't know if I love the result though. What do you guys think? Is this a good result? I'm not totally against just keeping the legs as they are. I have a little bit of hesitation around going through that step because it's not something you can easily undo. Omegon's twin asks, out with the 40k, do you think we'll get Kill Team Cassius back? It depends how generous GW is. If they no longer sell it, it should be a Legends unit. Right? That would be the logic. If they no longer sell a product, they should provide rules for it in Legends. I think that should be the rule. The golden rule, almost. But I can't say for certain if they'll get Kill Team Cassius back. Part of me wonders if you'll get maybe it's a bit of a long shot, but a Primaris version or equivalent, or maybe the same unit, just reimagined for the modern era. To be honest, I don't love the idea. I think Kill Team Cassius was a totally cool, totally unique unit as they were. You think Kill Team Cassius would be in Kill Team, actually. That might be a good little house rules project down the road. Omegon's twin says doubtful because of the Ordo Xenos box still having Firstborn Marines. Oh, is that right? Still having Firstborn Marines as in the Death Watch Veterans kit? Is that the case? Look, personally, I don't think... I think you should just treat Firstborn Marines as Primaris and Primaris as Firstborn Marines. The distinction is stupid. Let's be real, all right? I think it does much more harm than good. It's worse for the loyalists, it's worse for the traitors, it's worse for everybody. You just treat it as scale difference. You know, they just made a new increase in scale. Maybe you like your super soldiers being super big rather than just regular big. Jerry Sanchez is starting assembly on my first Death Guard Terminator unit tonight. Very cool, Jerry. Very cool. Is that a Blight Lord Terminator or a Death Shroud Terminator? Tremari says, I have some things to do. I'll be back soon. Hail to Tremari. Good to see you pop in there, Tremari. I appreciate the drop-in. We'll catch you a little later. Jerry says Blight Lords. Very, very cool. I personally like the Blight Lords a bit more. I get it, you know, the scythes and the aspect of death and the imagery of the harvest. It's all well and good, but there's a certain charm the Blight Lords have, especially that real rotund fellow who's grinning very sinisterly. I adore that sculpt. Gives me the heebie-jeebies, you know, if I were to imagine myself as a guardsman or a conscript, right? Having to encounter that, I would. I might get shot by a commissar. Let's put it that way. Francois, welcome. I don't think that's all that bad. I think that leg looks pretty good. Oh, right, guys. I posted a little whip of sorts of a Genestealer cultists that I'm thinking this could be the potential scheme for a hive cult or a Genestealer cult of for High Fleet Gengar. It's on the community tab of my YouTube page, and you can check it out if you're curious. Jerry Sanchez says, do you listen to any 40K podcasts? I'm in the middle of the Valentine's Heresy. I don't listen to too many 40K 40K podcasts or content creators all that much. You know, I check out the occasional like hobby video because I'm curious just how people are doing things or going about particular schemes or you know, methods for basing. I do a lot of that. But not so much for the general sort of content. I like being able. I kind of value the perception, anyways, of coming to my own conclusions with regards to any videos I make. So I don't want to watch too many other content creators. My YouTube subscription feed isn't very full of many other content creators, if I'm honest. You know, I like the occasional Winter's Battle Report because I find it rather wholesome, but barring that, not too much. Omegon's Twin says, ooh, I like it. That's a plus. That's a notch in the we'll go with that column. Assuming that's in relation to the GSC. The little neophyte hybrid. I think that's what they're called. It might not have been the best test model to do because he's so basic. But I think for any of the cult members who have any, like, you know, tabards or longer cloths, I think I'm going to do the Gengar model pattern on those cloth elements. I think that would look really, really good. And nicely communicate their association to the High Fleet proper. So is this edge raised enough that I can hit it like this? Sort of. Barely, though. Whoops. Screwed that up. Omegon's Twin, Gengar goes Burr. That's right. Pollux G. Welcome, Pollux G. Hydra Dominatus, brothers. Hydra Dominatus indeed. Francois painting another Lamenter. Is this another Lamenter competition, Francois, where you're challenging someone to start the army if they lose to you in the painting competition? You know, there's a certain purity to creating to creating a Lamenter's army after in such a dire circumstance, right? Like the framing of it is so sad and immiserating. Sort of fits the Lamenter's vibe, you know. I don't hate it. Actually, since I've been doing bluer boots, maybe I should do the same here. Actually, I don't think it's necessary. She doesn't have she's relatively exposed, you know? Unlike some of the other boys who have almost a full body sneaking suit. I think making their boots bluer, anyways, helps with the readability. But for her, I don't think it's as much of an issue. Maybe that's just a bit of motivated reasoning, because I don't want to have to start mixing more paints, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks. Francois is subtly increasing the number of Lamenter's players. Says Omegon's twin, and Francois replies, no, they're doing an Infernus Marine challenge, and since Infernus Marines suck balls, there's no reason to paint it in my chapter's colors. Well, for now, you know how GW is going to be. Next edition Infernus Marines are going to be incredible. Incredible. I am willing to bet. I think there's a high likelihood of the coin flipping, as it tends to. Right? Like, if you want to add value to Infernus Marines, what do you do? Right? You either make them a crazy... Well, you know, if you just dial them up their potency reasonably, then they become a very scary Rubric Marine type unit, right? That Flamer Bomb. A Flamer Bomb unit. Then you play them in some stupid wombo combo that allows them to deep strike, and there you go. There you go. My instant delete key. A chapter master returned from the Death Watch. I like it. Jeez, that edge is too big. Screwed that up. Got a bit of a flesh tone here that I'll use as a base color for the stitching, which I'm thinking of making yellow. I've sort of made that a material type for the color scheme. Just sort of worked out that way. In black, non-metallic metal. Non-metallic metal. Francois says I would if I was doing an army, but for a paint competition I feel like some freehand will go farther with judges. Indeed, indeed. I find paint competition judges often give bias points, you could say, for such choices. And I think it's a fair bias because I agree with it. Oh, you know what, Francois? Francois, while you're here, I have that failed 3D print Carnifex head. Right, so you can see it's supposed to have like a nub that sticks out that notches into the socket of the body of this Carnifex. But you can see the layering sort of failed. And I think you can see what I was trying to communicate yesterday a bit better. Seeing it in person here, or seeing it on video here. This kind of deformity is probably better for a Wraith Glaive or a ghost glaive, rather than a blast, a cannon blast. Yeah, for what it's worth, there it is. What a just awesome sculpt, though. My god. My god. Francois says, oh, it's just the head. I was under the impression it was closer to a full model. Well, no, the way that kit comes, or the STLs come, they're all separated into its component parts. I do have a torso, but it's actually didn't fail. It's just a spare torso. I don't know, maybe it could be used for like a Tyranid torso in a vat or something. Definitely a very narrative terrain piece. Would be great for like a raid on a Genestealer cult, like Biophagous facility or something. It's got a whole bunch of different Tyranid organs and parts in vats. I can't help but think of Pacific Rim. Francois says, love that it has more of an antenna than horns. Yeah, that's the enhanced senses style head from the Butov Carnifex. Tramari says, what does the Tyranids do if they encounter diseased Nurgle cultists and demons? I realized my poor grammar after I said it. Yeah, no problem, Tramari. I am all too familiar with that for myself. It's all good. No judgment from me. Omegon's twin says sometimes they become Neural Tyranids, other times they develop antibodies. Yes, Neural Tyranids are canon, but not common. Yep, I would lean that way as well. It makes sense. I think it'd be easy enough for the hive mind to do the assessment that something's wrong with this brood, this batch, and just nuke them from the hive mind. Just jettison them into the sun. Pollux G says adapting to stuff is kinda their thing. Very true. Francois says, why are there no corn nids though? Is it because they eat skulls instead of offering them up with a skull throne? Omegon's twin says Slanesh Tyrians is something I never want to see. Never. Pollux G says I just imagined something and I hate it. Thanks. It would be worse than Skaven, and I genuinely hate Skaven. Oh, what a hater. How can you hate Skaven? Skaven are peak, bro. I'm a big fan of factions that ride that line between terrifying and hilarious. Like orcs. But orcs don't get the horror aspect as magnified. I feel like they become a bit too farcical at times in their representation. Right? Like the new Skaven stuff, I think, is right as I kind of enjoy them being characterized. Right on that line. Okay, so the belt is going to be, I guess it should be our, well, it doesn't look like the straps, right? Like these guys have. Definitely a different material type. So we could go black. We could go black. King Ghidorah, welcome to the stream. Goddamn. Yeah, what a great time to tune in. Just the chat being degenerates talking about the most heinous of subjects. Pollux G says, I'd like Space Skaven, but not because I like Skaven. Tremari says, Steven stole the guns from the orcs. I'm going to assume that's Skaven, but I also like the idea of a guy named Steven stealing guns from orcs. Okay, let's begin working on this sleeve. It's like the leg sleeve, but not as hopefully it'll go a bit quicker. Hopefully. No promises, though. See, the problem with Slanesh Nids is I just wonder if that ends up becoming Slanesh Demons. Right? I mean, I don't... Where does one end and one begin? That's the question. Corn tainted Tyranids. I feel like you need to have the capacity to get angry. You need that emotion, right? Whereas, you know, Nurgle tainted Nids, I would argue they're not they're not feeling the emotions of despair and joy that Nurgle cultists seem to revel in, right? I would think they're just diseased neutrally, spreading contagion around. Sort of just like a, you know, biological viruses, right? Just spreading the contagion through the galaxy. But for Khorne and, I guess, Lanesh, you kind of need that capacity to feel, which the Tyranids aren't really built to, built for that purpose, right? They're just tools for destroying and then consuming. Pollux G says just tits and tentacles. Yeah, probably. Probably. You know, I think it was the Devastation of Baal book where the Tyranids began. You know, I don't have any terribly like negative feelings towards Guy Haley's work. I usually enjoy it the way I enjoy popcorn, you know? Just like a good popcorn flick. And, but I think it was Devastation of Baal, which Guy Haley wrote, that kind of characterized the Tyranids as being, or at least High Fleet Leviathan specifically, as being angry at the Blood Angels. Like they had a personal distaste towards them, and I hate that. I think once you characterize and have Nids become expressive in that way, they lose what they are. Right? It's like how StarCraft's Zerg were kind of hurt. Look, as much as I like the Kerrigan character and all of that, I think it hurts the themes of the faction. Right? The faction's identity is hurt by your alien swarm race exhibiting human emotions when they should be very insect-like and not expressing such feelings. Not sure if I want this wrap to be a gray color. None of the other guys really have gloves, do they? We have this guy. Maybe the wrap should be yellow. Just on the... No, you know what? I am undecided on what to do here. Yeah, you know what? Let's try it out. Yellow's kind of easy to paint over anyways. Hopefully those won't be my famous last words. Omicron's twin says, Brother Pyro, get the flamer, the heaviest flamer. I won't lie to you all. I am quite amused by the direction chat has taken. You have Tremari out there. I'm so sorry, everyone. All because I asked about Nurgle's, about Tyranids and Nurgle's diseases. I'm just asking questions, okay? Maybe I should look up my quiet reference. The character sheet. Actually, there was a search result of a figure that had a full rotation, which was pretty useful. Oh, look at this. Already nearly an hour into the stream. It may be time to do some metal colors. So yeah, so actually the belt should be olive drab. We'll force the material color from what it clearly would otherwise be for the sake of the reference. Tramari says, on a more sane note, happy Grotmas, everyone. I suppose it's a bit early, but I do share the sentiment. Yeah, we should. We'll be doing a bit of that, certainly as we approach the end of the Grotmas calendar, right? Because that would mean, if I stay consistent on these streams, we'll be streaming right up until the holiday. Okay, let's get some middle colors going. Let me think about this. So the orc guns I have here on this commando team are mostly gunmetal with black weapon casings. Right? Now this weapon is clearly a reclaimed Eldar rifle with bits of scrap attached and some mods made, you would assume. So, probably want to paint it a bit so it's in line with the Eldar weaponry, right? I wonder if there's any opportunities to color code it. So you could say, oh, that is a Ulfway rifle. I have a feeling all Ranger weapons are black. I feel that is the case. Yeah, the Simhan Rangers on the box art are equipped with black rifles. Which is probably how they all are. I don't think any craft worlds do the Iron Hands thing or the Dark Angels thing of coloring their weapon casings. Alright, that's fine. You know what? Quiet's rifle is black, so maybe I'm overthinking it. Let me grab a bottle cap. A metal color bottle cap. King Ghidorah, welcome to the stream. Says, look at the gat on that thing. Yep! Well, she knows what's up. That's for sure. And we're going to mix this with a bit of black to get a bit darker of a base color. I think that'll just look better. I'll just use up the black paint on the palette. And we'll see where this gets us. I'll put this metal color on all the scrap elements that I've added to the Eldar rifle. Then we'll scuff up the Eldar rifles. What would it be made of? Wraithbone? All those parts. To hopefully help everything blend together. King Ghidorah asks, where did you get that model? I got this model from RTLW. A model making company, which I have an affiliate link for, which should be in the description. The model's name is Bootiful, spelled how it sounds. Bootiful Strengther. Though I did do some modifications to the hair. The hair and the weapon. She's supposed to be resting on a long axe. Then we'll apply the rest of our metal colors around. Just try and break up the materials a little bit. I may end up painting over this if I deem it so that, like, do these shoulder pads, would it look better if these shoulder pads were painted metal and then chipped so that some metal color is showing through? Well, not painted metal, painted I don't know, just a color that might add a bit more visual interest. A color that is to be determined, which has some metal flecks sticking through. I mean, given the source reference I'm going for here, I probably don't want to add too many colors. But what I may consider is just painting it black. With some metal flecks showing through. We'll see. Maybe the silver's good. Maybe the silver adds a nice focal point. Or you move your eye around the model as you're looking at it. Oh, I missed your message there, Pyro. Question at what the 40k? If I want cool hand poses that are firstborn, I would need tactical squads and Devadir squads for that. Yes, yes. Kind of. The tactical squad has the it has the missile launcher hand. That's like, my camera's too zoomed in. It has a few hand options. I think it's got pointing, bracing the missile launcher. I think it also has the reloading, holding a magazine hand. If those are the hands you're looking for, then yes. You can use Primaris hands, but those hand poses are on all sorts of different kits. It's hard for me to recall. I think the intercessors, not intercessors, the incursors / infiltrators kit has some pretty cool hand poses. Lots of tactical hands. King Ghidorah says, what weapon is that? Eldar Ranger's gun? Yes, King Ghidorah. It is a Eldar long rifle kit bashed with some plastic hard, plastic rod, and Space Marine bits. I wanted to give this Eldar sharpshooter a weapon that was more evocative of Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5. It's like and unfortunately, the big shooter that comes in the Kill Team set is actually much bigger than this. And it was not feasible for her to rest on it. I'd have to stack her up maybe another floor up just so she could have that pose, and it was just getting too weird. So I had a spare Eldar rifle from the Rangers kit, and it was fit for purpose. There's actually more black materials to do. I forgot that she has a glove on her other hand. How about that? Jesus, guys, Jesus. Francois with the "you love Hormigons, don't lie." Oh god, that's too good. It's too funny. I like that a bit too much. All the squid cakes and fungus beer. Don't forget the lictors. Yep. Omegon's twin. I'm not mad. Just disappointed, of course. Like I said, it just starts to sound like Slaanesh demons, which I feel like that's kind of how that would look. It's all excellent ideas for Slaanesh demons. That's what that is. Kind of makes me sad in a way, like, so you wouldn't have those sorts of demons in the Slaanesh demons range. And I don't feel like GW's intend to expand the demon ranges anymore. I feel as though the AOS standard allows the mortal servants, or, you know, the Hedonites of Slaanesh in AOS and the Emperor's Children in 40k to essentially combine and flesh out that range. in a way where you don't really need to have so many other demon types, but like with Tyranids, there's so much creative room for Chaos Demons, man. It's limitless. Limitless. Third-party kits are good for that. Like the Creature Caster stuff. Super cool. You know, they have some awesome Slaanesh demonettes I was looking at for a minute. I didn't end up pulling the trigger on it. Because it was just, I don't know. Didn't really feel like great value to spend extra unnecessary money on nicer than your GW demonettes for one unit in an army that is going to get blasted off the table with relative ease, right? But maybe in a kill team type scenario, those models could shine a bit better. Pollux G says they don't need expansion, but they need new models. Yeah, some of the demon models are certainly older than the others. I think Flesh isn't that bad, though. They're all fairly new. Whoops. Didn't mean to startle the camera. My humblest apologies. Okay, so I think those are all the metal components, probably. Hopefully. Okay, let's circle back to our black color before it dries up on the palette. And just do this glove. Which is mostly there, right? Like, look at it. It's mostly accounted for. You can probably get away with something like that. At what the 40k, or sorry, Obegon's twin says at what the 40k, can I pretty please send an Evisort assassin to Francois' house? Call the commissar. Call the commissar. Call the inquisitor. You know what, though? Before we continue, let's take a little break from the painted and look at those Necron detachment rules. Let us see what we got. I guess I could stretch this to make it a bit more professional. Expand! There it is. Perfect. Okay, Star Shatter Arsenal. What is the thematic direction? I like the sound of it. It sounds like Mephrit. A wide range of mechanical treasures are stored within the grand armories of the Necron dynasties. Some Necron nobles prefer to wage mobile warfare, utilizing the swiftest of these vehicles, including imperious anti-grav warbarks, looming mechanical walkers, and supersonic assault craft powered by eldritch technologies to outflank, outrun, and eliminate their enemies. What does that mean? They just have the dopest shit. As these armored tides sweeps over the hopelessly outmatched foe, Ghost Arcs swoop low to disgorge rank upon rank of skeleton Necron warriors. Other forms of Surha construct and mechanical killing machines join the lethal procession. So it's not promoting the idea of a singular unit type. It's a mixed combined arms sort of thing around the idea of we have the best shit. The quality armory type. This was the thematic direction of the Zeracon dynasty, that's Silent King's dynasty, in the 9th edition codex, if memory serves. I don't believe mastercrafting and quality arms is a theme exemplified by any of the other detachments in particular. I could be mistaken. You guys can correct me on that if that's the case. Anyways, detachment rule. Relentless Onslaught. Each time a Necron's model from your army makes an attack that targets a unit within range of one or more objective markers, which is what you want to do. You want to target a... oh wait, a Necron model from your army makes an attack that targets a unit within range of... Okay, it targets a unit. Targets an enemy unit, but I guess you would... Yeah, it targets any unit. But you want to shoot enemies on objectives, so that is a good rule to have. +1 to hit, nice. You're already a quality skill army. For whatever reason, you know, the undead in disrepair Necrons are more or less a superhuman quality standard army. Right, and this gives you another +1. I think the index detachment for Necrons also had +1 to hit as the primary mechanic, right? But it was character based by attaching characters. So you have some overlap there. In addition, ranged weapons equipped by Necron vehicles and mounted models have the assault. Oh, okay. Interesting distinction. So just the vehicles. So you're already encouraging heavy vehicle use, excluding Titanic, which would be your monolith and your Seraptic and your obelisk. Interesting. Assault is not terrible. I mean, most of your vehicles aren't fighty anyways, so more mobility, always get to shoot. After advancing, and you have +1 to hit while you're zipping around. Could be a problem. I don't think that's a bad start at all. Let's see here. Enhancements. Oh god. Oh god. Spoilers. Let's go back up. Okay, enhancements. Dread Majesty. Let me zoom in here. Let me enhance. Overlord or Catacomb Command Barge only. Well, that's cool. They include the barge. While a friendly Necron's unit is within 6 inches, excluding Titanic. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1. Wow. You just have a little Overlord, a little cheeky Overlord giving out a 6-inch aura to reroll hit rolls and wound rolls of 1. It's any unit. And you're rerolling all hit rolls of 1. You're hitting on 2s because you have +1 to hit, usually, unless you're getting debuffed. And you still get to reroll 1s as well? Where's the conditions? Where's the conditions of yesterday's detachment or the tier? Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Miniaturized Nebula Scope. Necrons model only. Ranged weapons equipped by the bearers. Equipped by models in the bearers unit have ignores cover. Also good. Covers everywhere. Often abused, right? You could put this on your destroyers, surely. Destroyer Lord. And that would help their AP carry that much more. 15 points for that. Demanding Leader. Look at the disparity in names between these two. Miniaturized Nebula Scope and Demanding Leader. Okay. That amuses me. Necrons model only. In your movement phase, select one friendly Necrons vehicle or mounted unit, excluding Titanic, within 6 inches of the bearer. Until the start of your next command phase, that unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it fell back. Wow, look at that. It's a command. It's a command. You pick a unit within 6. You're not locked in. It's not the bearer's unit. You just have your bearer. You move them. You move them hopefully within range. You can advance as well and still shoot. because of your detachment rule, and then you just pick a unit within 6, and you're like, I gotta get this guy out of engagement range. I'm gonna run over here and fall back and shoot. That's convenient. Super convenient. Right, and that having a fallback and react probably frees up a stratagem slot as well by having it in the enhancements like this. Excuse me. Okay, Chrono Impedance feels. Impedance? Impedance. Necrons model only in your command phase. Select one friendly Necrons vehicle or Necrons mounted unit. The same unit selections on all? Well, on the latter two anyways. Until the start of your next command phase, each time an attack is allocated to a model in that unit, subtract damage by 1. Oh my god. In your command phase, it's again another selection. It's so good. It's not like Bearer's unit or the Bearer only, like some of the other enhancements we've seen. It's all select a unit nearby. Select a unit within 6. Select one friendly unit within 6. This one is the Bearer's unit. But that's the most boring one in my opinion. This one, while a friendly unit, and this is just an aura. So even better than just selecting one unit. My god. These are good. -1 damage on a monolith. Oh my god. Oh, you can't pick Titanic. Okay, good. Okay, good. Still, -1 damage is a problem. It is a problem. Francois says, at what the 40k likes my Hormigons, and my favorite is Spermovore. The Biovore? That one isn't as amusing to me. Hormigons is... my very sophisticated sense of humor. That's what that is. Okay, Merciless Reclamation. Shooting or fight phase. Used when you are going to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, if the target of that attack is within range of 1 or more objective markers, add 1 to wound roll. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. +1 to wound within range of an objective marker. Oh, it's shooting and fighting. I'm so jealous. Like from the Salamander's point of view, I hate that. I absolutely hate it. Because you got +1 to hit if you're within range of an objective marker and you have assault, right? For your vehicles, right? Your vehicles. Your infantry don't have assault, right? So, look, there's a bit of overlap with Salamanders, but Salamanders, all infantry would have assault. But you get +1 to hit for everything if it's in range of an objective marker. And then your stratagem, shooting and fighting, +1 to wound if the target is in range of an objective marker. The Salamander's +1 to wound stratagem is like, it's like night and day compared to this. I can't recall it like verbatim offhand, but it's something like against the closest target within 6 inches, you have +1 to wound. Like that restriction is, it's so easily, it asks, it's so much more demanding and it's so much easier to manipulate by enemy units with reactive moves and all of that, right? Yeah, this is very jealous from the Salamander's point of view, right? It'd be so nice to be like, oh, in range of an objective marker, well, +1 to wound, or get off that objective, right? I'm happy with either. Very jealous. This is awesome. And shooting and fighting. No closest target within 6. Oh, God. God damn it. Terrible. Unyielding Forms. Your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Okay, so this is your all-purpose defense, it looks like, and this is your all-purpose offense. One Necron's vehicle... Oh, but it's only for vehicles or mounted units. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets a model in your unit, if the strength characteristic of that attack is greater than the toughness of the unit, you subtract 1 from the wound roll. Okay, so you got your conditional -1 to wound. So a -1 to wound, I can't make things worse than a 5-up. Or worse than a 4-up. Still valuable. And it's a stratagem, so it's not like you're using it and then wasting it. You know when it's going to be valuable. That's really awesome. If you need to keep something alive, you can double dip with your -1 damage. A -1 damage and -1 to wound. Good luck. Good luck destroying my barge, or annihilation barge. Yeah, that's what it's called. Your command barge and your annihilation barge. What's up with Necrons and barges? Okay, Chrono Shift in your movement phase. 1 Necron's a vehicle or mounted. So it's a vehicle, yeah, heavily incentivizing vehicle units. Until the end of the phase, if your unit advances, do not make an advance roll for it. Oh, just flat 6. Fucking amazing. Amazing. And another thing I'm jealous of. It's a good quality of life stratagem. You know, when I was playing with the Elder Detachment at the start of the edition, I was found that to be pretty valuable. Just the reliable advance. So yeah, I need to move 14 inches, no problem. Bam. Just pop that stratagem. Okay, Dimensional Tunnel, 2 movement stratagems. Look at that. Until the end of the phase, models in your unit can move horizontally through models and terrain features. Look at that again. Here it is again, guys. Look at this. Another, let's ignore the core terrain rules. What does this... I feel like it only confirms my hypothesis. The terrain rules in 10th edition are half-baked. And now we have detachments compensating for them. Particular detachments, anyways. Endless Servitude, 1 CP, fight phase, end of your fight phase. Interesting. 1 Necrons unit, excluding Titanic units from your army that is within range of 1 or more objective markers you control. Your unit's reanimation protocols activate. Oh, nice. Yeah, they always have... each detachment has a out-of-phase reanimate, if I recall. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, end of the fight phase. End of your fight phase, specifically. You gotta be in range of an objective marker. So there's a bit of an ask there. And reactive reposition. Oh, shoot. Yeah, okay. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has shot. Oh, your unit can move D6 inches or 6 inches if it's a mounted or vehicle. How about that? Yeah, that's an awesome toolkit you have here for the Necrons. I think this is very good. I think this is very potent. Very potent. Probably the most potent of the Grotma stuff we've seen. I like the themes of the Thousand Suns more, I think. But this has a lot of tasty offerings here. Yeah, shoot at your vehicles, they come closer. Necron vehicles aren't too fighty, but just the board control is still value. Right? If you can't kill them, then they're going to reanimate in their command phase as well. Not bad, not bad. All right, let's shift gears. Back to the hobby station. Did I miss anything in chat? Matt Gaming, welcome to the stream. Just saw your messages right now. Yes, Pollux, indeed. The Death Watch are tomorrow, it seems. So that'll be worth will certainly be. I'm hoping a lot to unpack. I'm hoping it's a PDF that is, giving you something pretty robust. Shoot, we should have applied a null and oil wash beforehand, eh? How about that? How about that? It's not the biggest problem, but also not ideal. Warp Forge, welcome to the stream. How's it going? What's on your hobby desk, Warp Forge? We just finished looking at the Necrons detachment. Seems pretty good, honestly. If I was a Necrons power gamer, I would be pretty pleased, I think. Warp Forge says, I'm okay, I just chillin'. I got 5 Nemesis Claw members and 2 Plasma Gunner Raptors with 3 Bat Swarms I'm using as Night Lord themed Nurglings. Ah, it sounds rather cheeky. Rather cheeky. Pun intended, I guess. In the Black Library novel Wolf Time, a book which I mostly hate, but despite that, there are some neat little nuggets in there. One of which is a Night Lord's battle. It's just sort of a prelude that the novel doesn't focus on. So it's in no way a Night Lord's book. But in that little encounter with the Night Lords, it features a strategy that I found myself very much drawn to. It's the idea of a terror storm. And the idea in that book was, through a warp ritual, the Night Lords would basically create a seeping shroud over the battlescape. And I feel like your bats there kind of speak to that imagery quite a bit. I think it's pretty neat. Pretty neat. Francois says, like Crons needed any more help. Yeah, they're pretty, they got a pretty good booklet. Pretty good codex, but this is, I can't speak to how it scales relative to what they got. Is this an escalation of their overall potency, or is just another detachment that's strong? I don't know. But I certainly think this detachment is good. I think it has a lot of desirable tools. But it's not the Mephrit detachment I was hoping for. I'm wondering if maybe those shoulder pads should be... Let's give them a layer of this contrast. The Warped Forge says, yeah, my warband really play along with stuff like that. That and terraforming devices to induce lightning storms. Ah, very cool. I like that angle quite a bit. So this is black contrast, but I think it's been diluted with matte medium, I think. I diluted it with something. I found it was just so oppressive before. Which is, I mean, it's more than, there's nothing wrong with that inherently, but I kind of like the idea of having a product which I could use to tint, right? It's like, oh, that's a bit too bright. Maybe if I could just apply a layer of darkening product, right? So to speak. So that was the aim with this pot of contrast anyways. I think it kind of achieves the purpose. Tramari says, sorry, I need to leave for some homework. See you guys later. Well, thanks for tuning in, Tramari. You take care. Okay, we'll let that be for now. I'm gonna get some dirty yellow going here for those stitchings and that one wrap, that wrist wrap. I don't hate that. Starting to fit in with the rest of the gang a little bit. Okay, let's get some Castellan green. Let's get the olive drab components going. I think that'll really go a long way towards the tabletop ready standard. Pyro says, no, not the dirty yellow. Don't get tempted. What's wrong with AK's dirty yellow? What is wrong with it? You tell me. Misfit, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I quite like AK's Dirty Yellow. Pollux, I don't, or sorry, Pyro. I quite like it. I don't think it's a bad color at all. Pyro says run, Misfit, before it's too late. Jeez. Pyro says, I'll be off again. See you all later. You take care, Pyro. You take care. Francois says, Psycho Beige, Explore Clouds, and Dirty Yellow. Matt Gaming says bye. Jerry Sanchez says, man, this is shaping up nice. If you are referring to the Quiet with Big Shooter, Jerry, then I appreciate that. And I agree. I think the model is shaping up. It'll take a few streams, right? We're basically treating this model kind of like the way I would treat a character, right? Even though it's just a unit in the commando squad. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Jerry Sanchez. For $1. Oh, man, let me give that a like. Thank you kindly, Jerry. And it's your third super chat on a live stream. I am honored. I'm honored to receive your third super chat. So you don't have to apologize, Jerry. Just you're you're too nice. It's all good. It's all good. It's the thought that counts. I will take that dollar and put it towards maybe a kill team purchase to do some content creation. Perhaps that's what I'm thinking. So look, this glaze, this homemade glaze with the contrast here is really pooling pretty hard. I wonder how it's gonna look in the end. Like I want to dark everything overall, but it's just collected It's naturally drifted towards the base of those spikes, and now it's basically the same color I painted initially. It's just annoying. You like spread it back around or no? Okay. And so let it dry and see what happens. It was an experiment. Like, look, this is the scientific method, right? It is what it is. For the yellow areas, for this model, I want to add a bit of dimension. So I'm going to use a bit of yellow ink. Just a dab. Just a dab of yellow ink, and I'll probably just mix that in with a dirty yellow. Just to get a darker, but also richer glaze. Well, we're mixing it in with some paint. So... actually, I don't know if that'll work. Let's just try glazing it on first. So we want to create the darker side of the wrapping underneath, right? So we'll just brush upwards like this, and then hopefully gravity does its thing and it kind of pulls downwards. We'll have to see. We will have to see. For these, I actually don't know if this will work either. I feel like this is just gonna taint, or not taint, tint, excuse me, tint the gray sections more than anything. And we'll have to go in and clean that up after. Yeah, look at that. Terrible. Everything's going wrong. Jerry Sanchez says, that would be awesome. Well, I gotta cook dinner. Good luck with the mini. Well, you take care, Jerry, and thanks again for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Pollux G says, for the imaginary kill team I just mentioned, maybe. Oh, you just mentioned. Did I miss the context? Oh, that, okay, if I scroll up, it's, Pollux G says, but that's because I am hoping one of the next chapter-specific kill teams is just Terminator Brothers from Space Hulk. Oh, yes, yes, Pollux G. Let me level with you on this one. I think, if I was Games Workshop, I would certainly make a kill team battle box featuring Assault Terminators, which don't currently have a kit, versus Gene Stealers, probably. Really to cash in on that nostalgia, those nostalgia books, those member berries, right? I think that's low-hanging fruit. I think you make a battle box like that, tie in some Gallo Dark terrain features, some cool accessories or whatever. I think it would be like auto purchase for many. I'd feel obligated to, just for the Gallo Dark stuff alone. Just for the scenario, right? The Space Hulk scenario. That's super cool. Matt Gaming says, ooh, fancy. And Pollux G says, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, right? How could you? How could you not if you're in Games Workshop's position? It's like, you're just sitting on those new Terminator STLs, right? Because like all the models are digitally crafted, right? So they have these 3D assets that, these Terminator body chassis. I don't want to call it a chassis necessarily, but it's like you have these 3D assets that you're able to reconfigure, reuse, and repose. And it's like, yeah, once they make the file, the 3D assets for the Terminators, the new Terminators, they can immediately get to work on the Assault variant, the multi-part plastic standard tactical variant, the Dark Angels upgrade sprues, right? Like we saw with the Deathwing Knights. Yeah, though if I was GW and I was going to do this plan, I probably wouldn't have released new Gene Stealers with the Tyrion's Codex. I probably would have wanted to sit on it in the same way as with the Assault Terminators. Or, I mean, it could be a different variant of Gene Stealer, right? That sort of remedies the problem, I guess. Okay, so belt is olive drab as well. Pollux G says, Francois says, Assault Terminators will probably be in the 11th edition box. That's possible too, Francois. You know, you want to put a tasty, desirable unit in the starter set boxes, right? Right, if you did that, you could just kind of have the Assault variant of the 10th edition box, right? You have Vanguard Veterans and then Assault Terminators. Less exciting. I would much prefer the Terminators to debut in Kill Team in a Space Hulk style scenario. That's super cool. Super cool. Misfit says, my last Gene Stealer cults are taking a bit longer than I anticipated to finish. Lol. Yeah, no, I get it, Misfit. The Gene Stealer cults are, like even with Chaos Cultists, what's up with cultists, right? They're so accessorized. So many bips and bops, and little emblems, and fabrics, and accessories, and you're just, like, overwhelmed with all the different things you have to paint. So I get it, Misfit. They're like deceptively demanding. Like you'd think the elite Space Marines would be, more points per model. It's gonna take more of an effort to paint. It's like not at all the case. Would be cool to have a Terminator kill team. I think it would be. I think there's a way to do it, right? I mean, I know it's supposed to be rank and file guys, and only the. Look, I think you could even have a Custodius kill team. I think it's possible. I don't know, like, if you would have only 2 Custodies or 3 and a few Sisters of Silence to complement them. Like, I would adore a Talons of the Emperor kill team. It's just how few Custodies do you want to have, right? Because the fewer you have, the more lore accurate they'll feel. But having just one feels weird. Like, if it's just the leader and a bunch of Sisters of Silence, it doesn't feel Like, you don't want that dichotomy in the Talons of the Emperor. I think you want at least two. I think you could do it. I think you'd be awesome. We'll do a second pass of this. And maybe that's enough, right? Maybe we got a good gradient with that. Maybe. Wow, that matte medium is taking forever to dry. Or not the matte medium, I think it's the matte medium in the Black Templar contrast mix that's making it have an extra long drying time there. That looks better. That wrist strap needed that, I think. Misfit says, I'm onto the layers and highlight stage, so I'm closing in. I have 40 on my table. Yikes. 20 of which were kit bashed with Solar Auxiliary. Oh, that's fun. Get some variety in the cult. Yeah, that's the GSC offers a lot of creative freedom, which you don't see too many people flexing on, because it's just a less popular faction to collect. But yeah, all the different ways you go about your cult, right? Like the rusted cog. Is that what they are? The rusted cog, the Adamek cult. I think you could have a heap of fun with that kind of stuff. I don't know. Maybe though, if you're going about it that way, would it be better to play them as AdMech and you be able to use the AdMech units as the AdMech units, but you've converted them so they're like a assimilated cult? I guess you could go either way. That would be a good way to play AdMech if you already had an AdMech guy, so to speak, in your gaming group. And it's like, oh, you want to play AdMech too, but you don't want to step on his toes. Some people are that way. Some people are perhaps over conscientious of, overly considerable of other people's armies. And if you are that way, if you tilt that way, then that might be a good route, right? Man, I need to get some off-white. This is a major problem. I've exhausted it completely at this point. And that's such a crutch for me paint-wise. Oh, this is... Okay, look. Got a little bit more. A little bit more. We can still paint. What I'd like to do is to just push that gradient a little bit. Sort of like that, and just hit the centers of these stitches if possible. Probably bump up the brightness a little bit on those, though. Misfit says bladed cog. Bladed cog. What did I say? Rusted claw? You'll have to forgive my ignorance around the GSC cult names. Misfit says, my cult is similar to them, but different origin. Ah, very cool. Okay, and the back straps should probably be... I think these should be olive drab. The one's going in a cross, but the one horizontally probably should be black. Misfit says, time for me to be off to bed. Night, night. You have a good night, Misfit. Thanks for tuning in. Danzier, welcome to the stream. Says Necron Master Race. Yep, that's how I would feel if I was a Necron fan. Today's detachment was pretty good. Not bad. Not a bad detachment. Some good morsels in there. Some very desirable mechanics, to be sure. Let's just do a bit of edge highlighting on this sleeve. Getting a bit chunky there. Get some more black going on the palette. Fortunately, I used it all up on that black metal blend. And I forgot to paint the bullets. Yeah, look how tinted the ink made this leg sleeve. How annoying. How annoying. God. What a way to just undo all that work. Look, no journey is without pit row, alright? It's very important to keep that in mind. So once I hit these straps that connect to our horizontal strap, I will circle back to our sneaking suit colors because I gotta fix that leg sleeve and... yeah, look how ruined it is. This is why I can't have nice things. This is the sole reason why. Or that should help. And we'll add a bit of an edge highlight, and we'll see if that... Yeah, that makes things look a lot better. That does the trick. I'd say that's looking pretty good. Next, mixing some Strachan green with the Castellan, just to begin building up some tonal variety on these pouches and belts and straps. And look, we need more metal color on these bullets. I forgot about that detail. And look at that, we're into overtime on the stream, so we're going to wrap things up pretty quickly, because guess what? We'll be streaming again tomorrow. And that is when... well, we'll be continuing this model. Well, I think we'll wrap things up here, guys. Warp Forge says, fun stream. Whoops. What was that? Just a battery charger. No major disasters to account for. Anyways. This is how we're looking. Some pretty good progress. I think we made some good headway on this model. Anyways, guys, if you made it to the end of the stream, thanks for tuning in. You guys are the real hobby heroes. We'll be streaming again tomorrow, probably closer to afternoon, a little bit afterwards. Earlier than today's stream. And we'll take a look at that Death Watch detachment. Thanks to everyone who chatted, joined in, and shared in the hobby camaraderie. Thanks to Jerry Sanchez for the super chat, absolutely. And I think that's everything. We'll catch you guys, or I'll catch you guys